Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be able to share some doTERRA essential oil science with you today. I'm going to try to keep it as easy to understand as possible for those of you that it's kind of new for. And if you're more veteran in the chemistry field and I seem to kind of mess it up, I would like your feedback. So I have always had a passion for science, and after the military, I got into massage therapy and just loved anatomy and physiology and the biology and chemistry and everything that involved all of that. So the chemistry portion of the massage was when I got into the spa program, and we really had to delve into how, salt scrubs or mud wraps or salt glows or anything along those lines that would help benefit the skin and spa treatments. So it was fun to start getting a good idea of how that worked. And then in 2012, I went back to school for nutrition and really got more involved in how the digestive tract work, how nutrition is really part of how we live and what it does to our cells, blood-brain barrier, and all that. So now in the essential oil world, I am learning more and more about the constituents of the essential oils and what they do and why they do them. And a lot of people are a little, they don't really understand why essential oils help and why purity counts. And I hope that this can kind of open that world up to you and give you a little better understanding of what all that means. All right, so we're just going to geek out a little bit on the doTERRA essential oil science. And when we talk about the different chemistry categories in essential oils, we have two different ways to categorize the chemistry of them. It's the carbon backbone and functional groups. And when we talk about the carbon backbone, all organic matter has carbon, it's carbon-based. And organic chemistry is the study of carbon-based molecules. And molecules comprised of carbon chains has or is a carbon backbone. So here you'll see this chemical constituent or this molecule, and this is your carbon backbone, okay? And so is this. They're just a little bit different, which we'll get into. So the monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes are the aromatic molecules that are synthesized by plants. And they are within, are within a larger category or class that are called terpenes. There's 3 different categories in terpenes, but what we focus on in essential oils are the monoterpenes and the sesquiterpenes. Okay, so carbon backbone determines the organic molecular shape when atoms are joined. And the monoterpenes are in almost all essential oils having a 10-carbon aromatic structure and have a strong effect on cell membranes due to their size. So they can fit between the fatty molecules of the membrane, also passing through to affect targets inside the cell. So there's believed to be about or over 2,000 varieties of monoterpenes, each having unique biologic activity. So this is what we talk about when it says the 9-carbon, 10-carbon chain. So each end is a carbon attachment. So you have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 up here. And each attachment is attached by a carbon. So here you have the same thing. It's all a 10-carbon backbone, but we have this little branch coming off. This is an alcohol functional group with oxygen and hydrogen. So getting into the functional groups, they are distinct groups of atoms in a molecule with characteristic properties such that of the alcohol property coming off of that different molecule. So, and then they can provide a framework for daily essential oil usage. So these little different functional groups can categorize into a different usage property. The functional groups of essential oils are alcohols, aldehydes, alkenes, ketones, esters, ethers, phenols, and phenylpropanes. So you don't have to really worry about all those words. We're not really going to get into that right now. Just trying to get you to understand a little bit about the molecules, their structure, and that they do have cellular properties. So here is actually a sesquiterpene molecule. So sesquiterpenes have a 15 carbon chain. They're less volatile, meaning that they don't turn into gas as much as, like, say, a peppermint would when it hits the air. They're much thicker and larger molecules. And because they're larger, they don't penetrate the cell membrane, but they can activate various cell receptors, which are on the outside of the cells, and affect protein activity. Oils that are high in the monoterpene alcohols, the functional group of alcohols, is melaleuca or tea tree, geranium, coriander, basil, and lavender. And the oils high in sesquiterpene alcohols are sandalwood, vetiver, cedarwood, and patchouli. And if you've ever used any of those thicker oils like sandalwood or vetiver, they're like resin zones. They're very thick, or can be. Vetiver is a very thick oil, so the molecule is going to be much larger than, say, like a peppermint or a geranium. They're nice and thin, small molecular sizes. So the oils that are high in monoterpene alkenes, these are just some examples, is frankincense, Douglas fir, blue tansy, lemon, and wild orange. And then the oils high in sesquiterpene alkenes are ylang-ylang, black pepper, copaiba, melissa, and ginger. Okay, so those ones are a bit thicker, as I discussed before. Now this one is the alpha santalol functional group, and that is from sandalwood, and it is from the alcohol functional group. The alpha santalol is the actual molecular shape. And sandalwood has uplifting aromas. It soothes and promotes healthy skin when used topically. It promotes cellular health and also supports the digestion and immune systems. So this is what a sesquiterpene alcohol functional group of alcohol category would look like. It's got the 15 chain carbon. All right. So this here is, like I said before, terpenes is the larger class of the smaller monoterpene or sesquiterpene categories. So this chemical or this chemistry wheel is the monoterpenes, and then you see here is the functional groups. And the functional groups can be in both of these categories. And it's important to realize that functional groups and carbon backbones are two separate features of aromatic compounds. And this means that the molecule can be both a monoterpene and an alcohol at the same time. Likewise, there are molecules that are sesquiterpene alcohols, monoterpene aldehydes, sesquiterpene ketones, etc. And there is an endless amount of combinations when it comes to the category and the function. Now into a little bit of what science is discovering. So last year, this scientific study came out on PubMed. You can look for it on the PubMed.com or .org. Can't remember exactly, but it's a PubMed website, and it says that geranium and lemon essential oils and their active compounds downregulate angiotensin converting enzyme 2, which is the ACE2 receptor or the ACE2 receptor on our cells, and it doesn't allow the COVID spike to bind to the domain. So what that means is that all of our cells, like I said, have kind of a lock and key, so to speak. If you see in this picture, the ACE2 is binding to a receptor. Okay, so SARS spike protein binds to an ACE2 receptor. So the ACE2 is the receptor, sorry. And the COVID-19 or the SARS bacteria or virus gets into the body, attaches to these receptors, and that's when it can take control and do what it does and make us sick. And it gets into the body through the epithelial cells and replicates. So the citronella is a constituent of geranium, and limonene is a constituent of lemon. And they have shown to significantly downregulate this expression, meaning that it's not allowing the SARS virus to attach to these receptors. And the results suggest that geranium and lemon essential oils and their derivative compounds are valuable natural antiviral agents that may contribute to the prevention of the invasion of SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 into the human body. And when it says epithelial cells, that means that all of our mucous membranes, all the areas that can, all the holes in our body, nose, mouth, that have these mucous membranes are epithelial cells. They have to be quickly regenerated because of the exposure to the outside world. And that's how we get sick, is by these viruses and things attaching to our epithelial cells and then invading the rest of our body. So it's important to know that the expression is helping it not attach to these epithelial cells. And of course, this has to do with prevention even more than it does when you start getting symptoms. So by doing preventative care is so important to reduce the opportunity to even get sick. And it's just like for so many different diseases and illnesses that we have to struggle with in our world, prevention is a key component. And yes, there is genetic underlying issues when it comes to some diseases, but that does not mean that we don't take preventative measures in hopes that it would prevent that genetic disorder or disease to become turned on, so to speak. So it may be in our genes, it may be in our DNA structure, but that doesn't mean that if we eat healthy and we exercise and we take care of ourselves, that heart disease has to take control, because we're not allowing that gene to be expressed or turned on. And this is the same way. You want that prevention to be a key component in your life in order for these diseases and illnesses to not take hold, and in hopes that it wouldn't. So we want to make sure that that's part of our lifestyle. Right, so that is a really great study to read. And the wonderful thing is that you can go to PubMed and you can research essential oils and benefits and such. And there's so many different studies that are coming to show the different benefits of essential oil, the constituents of them. And today we're really only talking about these two constituents here, when there are so many to be discussed. So the citronella is a monoterpene backbone, and it has the functional group of alcohol, which I showed you here. I got that a little mixed up before. And then limonene is non-functional group because it's just your entire monoterpene carbon backbone. So a little bit about these specific oils. Geranium, of course, helps with the immune system and the skin. It's also very beneficial for hormones. It helps to give your hair a vibrant glow. There's just so many different properties that you can use these oils for. And then lemon is very cleansing and purifies the air and surfaces. It naturally helps cleanse the body and aids in digestion. And it helps support respiratory function and positive mood. So it also is great for the digestive, respiratory, and immune system. And I love to use both of these. Geranium is a little bit more of a potent aroma, so blending it with something else, maybe like a lemon or something that will kind of offset that pungent aroma, but it just depends on the person. Some people really, really love it, and some people it's nicer to be able to blend. So I will put these both in a capsule because the doTERRA essential oils are so pure and safe that many of them you can take internally, and you can put them in a capsule just to help with immune function and take them a couple times a day. So I would normally do about 2 drops of each or a blend of several oils depending on what I'm looking for. So this is a little legend, and it's just telling you that, like right here, it's got the alcohol functional group. It is primarily a monoterpene class category, so on here as well. Okay. All right, so this is kind of fun. I'm gonna show you this little video, and this came out at convention last month. And I'll talk a little bit about the oil that it's about. So here you have a drop of this new oil line that came out. And what you're going to see is some amazing stuff as this mold has been introduced to the Petri dish. So not much change in day 1. A little bit starting in day 2, where you can see on the left side, the mold is kind of just getting all over in the Petri dish. And the right side, very minimally on the edges on day 3. And day 3 on the left is getting pretty overgrown in like mold spores. Day 4, and you see this ring right here? This is actually called the zone of inhibition. And this is how studies will determine if like antibiotics are good for certain bacteria or mold or anything like that. And the bigger the zone of inhibition, the stronger the oil or antibiotic or whatever they put in there is to keep it away. So on the left side, it's totally black and just, it's totally overgrown. And then on the right side, this oil has dramatically reduced the growth of mold around the zone of inhibition. So that's pretty amazing. I'm sure you could see any, variety of these kinds of little studies on any, videos, YouTube or something. You could probably search. But this is the new abode oil. And the oils that are in the abode line are lime, litsea, lemon eucalyptus, tea tree, arbor vitae, kochi eucalyptus, cilantro, lavandin, which is not to be, it's not the same as lavender. Don't confuse that with lavender. Lavandin is different. And then lemon and myrtle. Okay, so the scientists at doTERRA studied about 30 different oils, and they came down with these 10 that have the highest ability to reduce the amount of bacteria. They were the highest cleansing properties that they found out of 30 different ones. So that's why they made it this blend. It is the new refreshing blend that they have, and it is primarily created for surface cleaning and some aromatic use. It's not to be used topically because of the blend, and it's got a lot of citrus in it. Citrus oils are or can be photosensitive. So if you have citrus oils, which are amazing, I would always recommend, and if you want to be able to smell them throughout the day, just put some in your hand, smell it nice and deep, and then either apply it to the bottom of the feet, have diffusing jewelry on, or something along those lines. But if you're going to be in the sun, don't apply citrus oils directly to the skin that's going to be exposed to the sun, because it can make your skin more sensitive. And especially for folks who are fairer skinned, it would it could potentially cause more problems. But the Abode line is really great because it is very refreshing. It smells really clean. And it doesn't have those harsh chemicals like bleach or Lysol, or any of those commercial chemicals that maybe have to be used in buildings or offices or hospitals or schools, because a lot of times those harsh chemicals will also kill off any good thing that's going on. You know, we want to be able to promote good health and not just wipe out everything. So the Abode Refreshing Blend is really amazing for now our cleaning line. We also still have the On Guard cleaning line, which is our immune blend, and it's very powerful as well. And I still love that, and I will always get the concentrated cleaner on the On Guard side, and I'll probably continue to get the Abode concentrated cleaner as well. So definitely want to look into those if you want to help get rid of that toxic cleaning products that you might be using in your home. And not to say that you know that they're toxic, but we want to trust what's on the shelves at the store. But it's just difficult because there are literally like 1,300 chemicals that have been banned in Europe that are still allowed to be used in our products here in the United States. And that's to include our food. So we want to be really aware of what we're using, and maybe, you know, our kids could be walking, you know, crawling on the floor. Or I know when we used we used to use the powder carpet vacuum cleaner stuff. So you would put the powder down like the Arm & Hammer stuff or whatever. And, you know, it smelled nice if you didn't have sensitivity to it. But my middle son would get on the carpet after we would vacuum thinking that it would be all up, and he would just break up hives. And now that I can create my own just out of some baking soda and essential oils, we don't have that problem because we're not introducing more chemicals into the environment and into the carpet and so on. So now after my ramble here, this is my contact information. You can shoot a screenshot of this and reach out to me. The Peak Oils for Life. Oops, that's supposed to be peakoilsforlife.com. Fix that. Oilsforlife.com. There we go. So you can go to this website, get a little bit more information about me and the oils, and there's some links in there that are really great. And you can also request free samples if you haven't had an opportunity to try the doTERRA products or essential oils. I'd be happy to send you a couple free samples and just to get your experience. And then the my.doterra.com is my doTERRA, pretty much the shopping site. Also a really great avenue to find certain research, and you can put in the search engine of, you know, different products that you want to learn more about, or the science blog you can get to under resources, and that's a really great place to find more information about specific products. Of course, my phone number, you can also text me here, where if you have questions or want more information on how to get started with the essential oils, and then you can email me at leandra@peakoilsforlife.com. So I'd love to help you to implement these products into your home for your health and your family, so that way you can just live a healthier lifestyle, start with some prevention, or if, it's never too late to start with prevention. And it's never too late to start working on your health. And I just find that, my mom has dementia, Alzheimer's, and I feel like if we weren't implementing these supplements that doTERRA has to offer, and like the frankincense oil is really prominent in her life. And we also use CBD oil as well, but it just is really helpful for her state of mind. And so don't discount the power of your constituents in these products. They're very pure, very safe. And I'd love to help you gain more information. And this is just some of the references that I used for getting all my information. So I look forward to speaking with you and helping you, and have a great, healthy, and wonderful day.